guys? Hey, welcome back. As you can see, Jerry, not very well, but as you can see, Jerry is back in the garage and been getting back working on him. Been finishing up welding the floor bracing. I still got to do some more, but right now, what I'm getting ready to work on is the seat belt brackets for both the passenger side and the driver's side. Yeah, I got both seats in it. And I got to thinking too, you know, we haven't really ever talked about Jerry as far as like what he is or where he came from or anything. So really quick, Jerry is a 1983 Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme. It was a factory V6 car, hence the smaller rear end that we've already changed. But when I got it, this has been, oh gosh, well, we got it back in 2011 with no drivetrain or anything in it. And so when I was at school, I built an engine, built a transmission, everything. Got it running on the road with my dad. And then when I got done with school, my dad gave it to me kind of as a surprise. So I drove it for like 4 years. It's my daily driver with just a little 200 horsepower small block. So anyway, and the block that I used to build the race engine is the same block that we put in it. So anyway, just wanted to give a little backstory on Jerry and what he is and how everything is going with it. So yeah, well, not much has changed really since the last time y'all saw it. So we're hoping that over these next few weeks that some big things are going to happen. Well, I got the seatbelt tabs most of the way in. I'm just going through and going to finish weld them. I sprayed some paint rust converter on the chassis to get in preparations for painting it today. But before that happens, you know, I gotta finish doing the seatbelt tabs, and then one big thing that's going in, the last bit of roll cage tube is going to go in. We're going to put the door bars in. So I'll set you guys up and let you watch that. Yeah, once that's done, then we can go ahead and start painting and get stuff ready to put the floor in. So hopefully we can get started on that today.
Steven's been knocking out a few more welds that he had to get done, but I wanted to show you Gerry's kind of frame, everything that he's gotten done. The interior is basically all done. Steven had talked about getting the seatbelt brackets put on. I know here's a good shot of the side one and everything that we got going on as far as seatbelt brackets. And then he's got the new door bars put in. So the frame is basically, I don't know, I would say 99% done. As far as roll cage and everything else, we got to do a little bit more work done in the rear end as far as battery and fuel cell, which isn't really that big of a deal. I'll probably be working on that this week to kind of knock some of that out. But what we have left today is Steven is going to start knocking out some of the painting on the frame and roll cage, and then we'll start putting the floor in. He went ahead and bought two 4x10 sheets of 035 to put in, as you can kind of see behind him, he's showing there. 2 sheets of 035 to put in the floor and start welding a little bit of it in. Most of it's going to be riveted in, so we can kind of just replace panels as needed. And then we're also going to use the same thing to make the dash. And then we can start adding wiring, switches, everything else. I know Steven's kind of like has an exact plan of what he wants to do as far as like wiring goes, but you want to lay out some of what you want to do as far as dash?
I mean, basically what we're going to do is there's going to be just a flat piece across the top and a flat piece across the face. But if anybody knows like what the G bodies look like, they have this box where like the gauges and the speedometer goes, and I'm going to kind of recreate that out of sheet metal and put my gauges in it, so it looks kind of has more of a stockish appearing dash. But the wiring and everything, there's a wiring kit that I'm going to get that'll do taillights to front to turn signals and everything, and all that's going to be mounted on the back side of the dash. With that, instead of sealing off completely the air box, I'm going to make a panel so that way when you pull the panel off, your switch box, fuses, and everything is all right there, easily accessible. And then, you know, just basic gauges, and still need to get a shifter. I already know what one I'm getting, I just have to get it. But other than that, and getting the floor in, the interiors, you know.
All the basic type of like underlay of the floor is done, as far as like framework and everything we have to do for the seats and seat belts is done. Now it's just going to be painting the metal. That way we can lay the floor on top of it without worrying about rust and everything else. And then, I don't know, we'll start laying drivetrain and wiring, which I know the flooring and all this metal work is basically the, you know, the stuff that takes a lot of bit of time, but once it's done, everything else comes together pretty quickly. I mean, we're going to lay one big sheet for the rear end here, and then a few pretty big sheets for the flooring, and then next thing you know, it's going to have seats, wiring, drivetrain. It's going to fire up in the next month. So follow along. Jerry's coming along. The LS Camaro swap will be, you know, it's on the back burner, but we still got a lot of plans, parts ordered for that we're just waiting on to work with that. But you know, thanks for subscribing, like our channel. Big things coming up this next year. Now that we have the shop kind of where we can work around it, I mean, we can already tell how much room we have with this shop. Now we actually jack this thing up, work around it, you know, the entire way. It's been a huge improvement, and it's just going to keep getting better from here. So, you know, thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.